We have a very, very hardworking minister, Minister Vaz. It's your turn to give your updates.
Thank you very much. Good morning to everybody, colleague ministers, permanent secretaries, special invited guests. So first of all, on behalf of the government of Jamaica, I want to extend deepest condolences to the family of the father and daughter who tragically lost their lives in the plane crash yesterday in Florida. The aircraft was bound for Jamaica on a hurricane relief mission. Mr. Alexander Worm was known for his unwavering kindness and his lifelong dedication to serving others, and he has been providing aid to Jamaica since the relief efforts began. My understanding is that he resides in Cayman and is well known by the Jamaican community in Cayman and has always been one who gives and gives and gives. So again, I want to say our thoughts and prayers are with their family and friends during this difficult time. I understand, based on confirmed reports, that himself and his daughter were tragically lost in this accident. And to state that despite the established process, we have landed several relief flights and would have landed this one in good faith based on its mission. As announced on Monday, November 10th, a new protocol has been implemented to ensure that all humanitarian and emergency response vehicles can move swiftly through the island's toll corridors to deliver essential supplies, personnel, and assistance to affected communities. Under this arrangement, all ministries, departments, and agencies, non-government organizations, charitable entities, and international partners and private citizens engaged in humanitarian work are required to submit a written request for toll access to the Toll Authority of Jamaica. Of course, that will be publicized on social media and in traditional media with exactly what is required. Request should be submitted via email to the toll.authority@mtw.gov.jm or to the Managing Director, Jerome.Palmer, that's Jerome Palmer, @mtw.gov.jm. I want to make it very clear that we will be working closely with ODPEM, but we don't want to burden ODPEM. So the Toll Authority will take responsibility based on the criteria set by ODPEM and handle the day-to-day issuing of these passes. My understanding is that a pass will be approved within hours of receipt, and I'm hoping that the toll concession operators will have a system in place where obviously discretion can be used based on situations that may arise on the ground at the actual toll. So again, once approved by the Toll Authority, a letter of authorization granting toll-free access will be presented by drivers at the toll plazas for verification. Members of Parliament will also receive toll exemptions to support recovery efforts, and each MP will provide his vehicle details and the driver's name for the Toll Authority to be able to issue the access authorization. Temporary toll access protocol will remain in effect until government recovery and relief operations are complete. So I know that we reinstated the toll on Monday, and of course I saw the pictures last night of obviously some of the toll booths that were very, very congested because obviously of the transition, persons not realizing that it was reinstated and being asked to pay. Some didn't have the money, and it caused significant delays. So I'm hoping that that will be streamlined going forward today. Airports, both Sangster and Norman Manley International Airport, continue to operate steadily, maintaining consistent flight activity since reopening on October 29th. Between October 29th and November 10th, the country's airports collectively handled 1,138 flights, including 499 commercial passenger flights, 369 cargo flights, relief and military flights, and 270 private flights. Of these, Norman Manley accounted for 578, while sanks for 369, reflecting strong recovery and sustained air traffic to support both commercial travel and ongoing humanitarian operations across the island. I really want to stop to say that we need to process that. 1,138 flights in the height of the first 2 weeks of a Category 5 hurricane. Thanks to everybody who worked with me to make this happen, the airports and all of the handlers and everybody else, Jamaica Civil Aviation Authority, Airports Authority. It's a feat that must be commended. One bit of good news that I just got while coming here, which I know will be received well, and must congratulate the JPS. The Montego Bay Airport will receive electricity later sometime today. That is huge because it will allow them now to go into full operations in the shortest possible time. Also want to say that the sea freight cycle has started. You would have seen on social media that picture of those containers passing through by Line Key and Main Key on the weekend. That would have been the first cycle of shipments that would have arrived. I'm yet to get the details, but I can tell you that it is mixed with commercial and relief supplies through containers. And I expect that to ramp up in the days and weeks to come, which means that our relief efforts will now be two-pronged, both air and sea. Of course, sea being able to carry much more. So that also is very, very, very good news for Montego Bay. Of course, if the airport is going to get back light, and I suspect that other areas will start to get back, but I leave that to the JPS. But that is, in the scheme of things and what I saw in Montego Bay, JPS must be commended on that feat. Telecommunications update. The Universal Service Fund continues its community Wi-Fi rollout for communities. Bethel Town and White House in Westmoreland, Huntley in Manchester, and Lucy in Hanover have public Wi-Fi access. Work is ongoing today in Petersfield, and by the end of the week, additional installations will be completed in Malvern, Silo, Hopewell, Darlington, Grange Hill, Montpelier. The mobile Wi-Fi unit will be in Lacovia, St. Elizabeth today, November the 11th. Again, huge for those affected communities being able to have access through free community Wi-Fi through the Universal Service Fund under my ministry, and we will continue to roll out, especially in all of those affected areas. Today, November 11th, Starlink satellite units are being distributed to the Jamaica Defense Force, JCF, Disaster Preparedness and Emergency Management, Jamaica Fire Brigade, and the Ministry of Health and Wellness to support ongoing operations. The kits will enhance communication, strengthen logistical coordination, and accelerate the national response in affected areas. Again, Starlink has a team here from their head office working with us, and I would like to say that aside and apart from the 400 Starlink that were made available by Starlink head office and 200 that have been distributed by Medicorp, one of the charitable organizations, and another 100 given to government by other donors, we would have had 700 Starlinks that would have been distributed within the last 7 days. Again, I want to remind everybody the Starlink is of no use unless you activate it and connect it. And our ability to get more will be based on that. Also happy to say that I found a local supplier who has 250 to 350 Starlink in stock in Jamaica, which we'll be moving to acquire so that we can roll out the full apparatus of Starlink that is required for all essential governments and NGOs that are working in this area. So we don't know the number yet. We're still compiling, still waiting on information to come. But the plan is between Starlink and the two telcos to be able to have those 5 parishes covered fully in terms of telco services in the shortest possible time. Flow reports as of November 10th, operating at 87% of pre-hurricane levels. Significant strides have been made across the island, and recovery efforts are also advancing steadily. Clarendon has 75% of the sites, Manchester 58, Portland at 48, and despite considerable challenges in the west, major progress is being made. St. Elizabeth now at 26%, St. James 25%, Hanover 27%. Overall customer connectivity is currently 49%, with 73% of Flow's fixed network facilities back online. Digicel has restored 57% of its mobile network. The fixed and business networks are performing even better at 89% and 75% restoration. Work continues in Hanover, Trelawney, and the Grill with ongoing microwave link realignment to stabilize service in these areas. Again, Flow and Digicel working hard to make sure that they get connectivity, and I'm working with them to get some additional spectrum so that they can even improve their service during this time. Energy update, fuel supply. Very happy to say that most gas stations are almost fully back up in terms of the areas. There's 1 or 2 sites in Montego Bay that are still not up, but fuel distribution continues to improve, which is very important, obviously, for the recovery effort. Massive distribution networks remain stable, and they can confirm a new cargo arrival today, November 10th, which will further strengthen supplies. Also, I've gotten a number of requests for permission for temporary gas stations, which are being processed, which will be able to fulfill the demand in areas where there's no fuel service. And those will have also marine fuel for some of the fishing beaches that are back up in terms of ability to go out to sea. Petrojam repairs continue at Montego Bay Terminal, and partial operations are expected by the end of this week, with full restoration within 2 weeks. Importantly, fuel supply remains at healthy levels between 2 and 3 weeks of storage, and over 20 million liters of aviation fuel are currently in stock. All aviation fuel deliveries are ongoing from the Kingston Terminal, which opens from 3 a.m. to 7 p.m. daily. So we are good to go there. JPS is here, so I'll give them their opportunity. But just to say that as of November 10th, 61% of JPS customers have power restored. The Ocheres Pier and parts of the town center and the St. Anne's Bay Hospital and Fire Station are back on the grid, which is huge. So in closing, across every area, from fuel to power, communication to transport, the story is the same: steady, determined progress. The government continues to work hand in hand with our private partners, the utility companies, the telcos, and emergency teams to restore full service across the island as quickly and safely as possible. We ask for the public's continued patience and cooperation every day as we're getting closer and closer to normalcy in these areas. I want to say what I've noticed, especially over the last 11, 12 days. The Jamaican spirit is alive and well. And I ask every Jamaican here and in the diaspora to continue to do your part, no matter how small it is, in the days, weeks, and months to come. Because with your help, the government of Jamaica will be supported in this huge task of relief and recovery for Jamaica after the passage of Hurricane Melissa, a Category 5 storm hurricane. So again, it is not unnoticed And the fact of the matter is, it is what is helping us to be able to do what we are doing. May God continue to bless Jamaica. God